Hello Red Raiders, my name is Ryan Ortegon. I'm a photographer slash videographer here at the Daily Toreador, and you're watching DT Week in Review, a show that highlights stories that we reported here at the Daily Toreador throughout the week. Our first story today is titled Burkhart Theater Group Hosts Series of Shows by Korishi Nwankwo. The Burtech Players will host a semester-end production in the Escondido Theater on November 13th and November 14th. The Burtech Players is a student-run arts group comprised from Texas Tech students and Burkhart Center students. Sam Scheffler, co-artistic director and alumni of the Burkhart Center for Autism and Education Research, was given the opportunity to run the theater class after he graduated. He said, "We've been slowly transforming ourselves into a fully fledged theater company called the Burtech Players. In order to connect the players to the campus community, the Burtech Players host a workshop every third Monday of the month that any student can participate in." Winter Davis, managing director for the Burkhart Center, said, "We included these new opportunities for students to engage with the Burtech Players that are not quite sure if they're ready to join, but want to think about it. I encourage students to come out and not only watch our performance, but get involved with this great organization." The Texas Tech Health Sciences Center Student National Medical Association hosted Doctor for a Day minicamp, where 5th graders became doctors for a day. SNMA is an organization that aims to serve underrepresented minorities through community service and scholarships. Kafayat Busari, president of the organization and second-year medical student, said the idea came from past experiences as a way to reach out to children. The mission of the camp is to spark interest in children who otherwise would not have this profession on their radar. Busari said, "I do not come from a family of physicians, so I thought it was important to reach out to the kids who were underserved and underrepresented to expose them to the responsibilities of life." For this camp, 5th graders from Post Elementary School came to visit the Health Sciences Center. Rachel Maldonado, a science lab teacher at Post Elementary, said all of our kids are important, but 5th graders have to take a test that is called the STAR test. So we want to give them as much hands-on experience so they can make real-world connections within the academic training they are receiving. That story was also by Korishi Nwankwo. The Lubbock Police Department has made a drug bust here in Lubbock with a new substance called fentanyl. Here to talk more about this story is news editor for the Daily Toreador, Michael Cantu. Michael?
Hello, I'm Michael Cantu, news editor for the Daily Toreador. I'm going to be talking a little bit about a drug called fentanyl that's been found in Lubbock. It was last Thursday that they had a big drug bust on 4th Street and also on 154th Street in Lubbock that they found this drug. Now, the reason this is such a big deal is because they found fentanyl. The CDC, I think, describes fentanyl as being 50 to 100 times more powerful than heroin itself, which means that it has extremely addictive qualities. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that a lot of the people who are addicted to fentanyl are, the worst of people. So we spoke to George Kamitsky, who works at the Center for Collegiate Recovery Communities here at Texas Tech, and he was saying that a lot of people get addicted to this drug because they start off with something that they suffer from, either mentally or physically, and it's mostly things that cause them severe pain. So whenever they start on this opioid type drug, which is what fentanyl is, they end up getting hooked, and they need a little bit more and more. That's the reason it's so dangerous. Is because it's stronger than heroin. Its addictive qualities just reach out a lot more than anything else. It has so much. It's so potent that it keeps calling the people back for more and more. The only problem with it, though, is because it's more powerful than heroin. Its potency is dangerous to the human body. I think it's, instead of milligram, it was described to me one time that three grains of salt, the size of that, of this fentanyl, has the potential to just knock somebody out cold. It has the potential for people to stop breathing. It knocks them out. It does so much stuff to their body and their mind that it is extremely dangerous and deadly. But it keeps calling people back for more. That's the even more dangerous part. Is it makes people want more and more and more. Therefore, they become extremely addicted to a drug that is extremely dangerous. This isn't affecting the indigent. It's affecting the indigent, the affluent, people who you wouldn't think college students, older folks, it has such a wide spread, and it's coming from such a wide variety of places. It was explained to me by Tiffany Pelt, the public information officer at Lubbock Police Department, that this thing is shipped straight from China to San Francisco, mostly, to Lubbock. This is where it's cut and sold. And this is exactly what the DEA, Homeland Security, and Lubbock Police are trying to combat. They found where it is, they've centralized it, and it's an ongoing investigation to try and stop the spread of this drug, fentanyl.
Now on to La Vida. Baron Batch, Texas Tech alumnus and former Pittsburgh Steeler, has embraced art culture as a post-football life. Batch said, "I was involved in the arts, but not necessarily painting when I was at Texas Tech. I was a columnist for the Lubbock Avalanche Journal for a couple of years, but I didn't really take up painting until I got to Pittsburgh." As a football player in college, Batch had an unmistakable creative desire he felt the need to satisfy. Batch said he always valued his mind over his body. He said, "To me, I didn't want to be defined as the last thing I did, so I had to consider what was best for me." Batch paints in a style called expressionism, which involves expressing the idea or concept through a process that does not require spoken words. He said, "Enthusiastically create the thing that compels you. Otherwise, it will be the absence of the thing that you wanted to make that really make you." Now on to sports. Here to talk about Saturday's Texas Tech football game against UT is DT sports reporter Jack Densmore and sports editor Brandon Solis.
Hi, I'm Brandon Solis, sports editor for the Daily Toreador.
I'm Jack Dinsmore, sports writer for the DT.
We're going to talk a little bit about this weekend's football game with Texas in Lubbock. It's going to be insane. If you were there for the Oklahoma game, it's going to be about 10 times more loud, more energy. It's going to be insane. As soon as the Mass Rider takes off, you're going to feel the energy. It's a big game for Tech and for Texas, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were able to beat Texas last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one game over them, but it's not the same Texas.
No, it's not. It's
anymore.
not. Definitely not, but at the same time, Tech has a little known fact here. Tech has not defeated Texas in back-to-back seasons since 1978 and 1998. 1997, 1998, excuse me. But it's been done before, and like last year we went to Austin, beat the Longhorns in Austin, which hadn't been done since the 80s. So, who's to say we can't back-to-back beat them again and turn this trend around, because 49-16 overall record is insane. But hopefully we can get win number 17 going on here. Pat Mahomes, he looks like he's a big key player to watch for me because of the last play against TCU right before Clayton Hatfield kicked the overtime double OT game-winning field goal. Patrick took a big shot to his shoulder.
Yeah, and that shoulder's been bothering ever since I believe it was the West Virginia game.
Yeah, the West Virginia game really showed. Kansas was when it occurred, and then any game after that, Kansas State, he's been looking off, and he didn't have a great game against TCU on the road either. But a good mixture of some run game helped the Red Raiders a lot, but the defense really won that game for us.
Yeah, I mean, it was I would say it's a defensive game on both sides.
Yeah, definitely.
DeLeon Ward, so I think surprised a lot of people. He ran the ball all over TCU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true freshman running back there, but then Texas also has a beast of themselves. Deontay Foreman, who has been tearing it up. One of the most underrated running backs in the nation. 250-pound running back for Texas, going up against one of the worst, if not the worst, Power 5 defense in the country. So hopefully the defense can, show up and take care of business. I think whichever defense shows up will win the game. Let's just hope it's Tech. I hope it's Tech. But I'm just gonna say the fans are in for hopefully a good game. Texas weekend, like I said earlier, it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be lit, as the kids would say nowadays. It's gonna be lit. Any prediction right here? Final prediction, Jack?
I'm gonna say Tech's gonna win it, but it's gonna be really close. Probably as close as TC was. Maybe with a little more scores.
Do you see it going over 40?
Yes, I'd say it's gonna go over 40.
Cool. I can agree with you on a few keys there. I think Tech will come out with the win. With the win here, they have Iowa State lined up, which is a winnable game. So they really need this game against Texas.
Yeah.
But Texas really needs this game against Tech. Whoever wants it more, and I feel like riding off momentum, even though they beat Baylor last week by 1 point, Texas is just going to lack. They haven't won a road game this season. I think Tech comes out with this one. So I'm going to go 42-35 Tech, give or take a field goal or two.
I'm going to go 45-42 Tech.
Okay, cool. So that's our predictions. Hopefully we can see those come out. But if you want to see how that plays out, go to the Jones on Saturday, 11 a.m. kickoff. But go to the Jones, support your Red Raiders. If not, check out the recap on DailyToreador.com or pick up Prediction Monday of the Daily Toreador. And once again, I'm Brandon.
I'm Jack.
Thank you.
Now, before we go on to this week's picks, here is a video recap of Saturday's Hauncert by Aaron Graham.
On Sunday, October 30th, the University Orchestra had their annual Hauncert at Henley Recital Hall. Students and audience members dressed in costumes for the occasion, many dressing as iconic movie characters. The Hauncert also included an instrument petting zoo where people could try out all the different types of instruments. I'm Aaron Graham with the Daily Toreador.
Now on to this week's picks. Column of the week is titled Art Unexpectedly Pervades Everyday Life by Avery Aiken. Photo of the week is shot captured by Mackenzie Harrison during Wednesday's softball game. And that's all the time we have for this week's DT Week in Review. Make sure to check out this week's Thursday package, Lubbock Artist, and make sure to look out for our full coverage of Election Day 2016 in Lubbock on Tuesday. Thank you for watching, and have a great week, Tech.